Razabani for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. With me, I've got Peter Fury. Peter, you alright?
Always a pleasure, yeah.
Great to see you here today in Manchester.
Yeah, looking forward to it. So, fight night now. Week's over and away we go. This is a bit I like, getting in the ring and letting them fight. That's the main thing.
I was going to say, you've obviously been on the road many times with Huey. It must be nice when you're in your own backyard and things are a bit more easier.
Yeah, it is. It's we just drove down from home here, and I think we've booked one night in the hotel, Friday and then fight night, which is today. So like I said, it's on the doorstep. So perfect.
Everyone keeps talking about how Hughie's been in there with the very best, but people need to remember he's still very young and got a lot to show yet. I've been seeing a lot of interviews of yourself this week talking about potentially seeing a new style for Hughie, but could you elaborate a little bit further?
Hughie's improving. You're looking at a young heavyweight that's been coming up through the ranks, and he's getting better and better all the time. Look at his body structure. He's weighing on the scales there, 17 stone something. He's healthy, he's fit, he's lean. When he fought Povetkin, he was 16 stone, 14 pound heavier of muscle. That's not because of mainly anything else, but obviously it's the work what Peter Clark's been doing, our strength and conditioner, and more so than anything, he's getting older, he's maturing. This guy's 6'6", so like I said, he is developing, he's getting strong, but he's putting the right size on. Also, his boxing, you'll see a big difference in him.
Obviously, his previous fight with Parker, Pulev, Povetkin, these are world champions that he's fought. What has he taken on from there? What has he learned from those defeats?
Well, what he's learned from them defeats is the fact that, these people are not bothering him. He's getting in there, they're not phasing him, he's not hurt by them. It's just been, where through different situations, he's developing, isn't he? To be a complete fighter, you've got to go through all these trial and errors. We're not talking of a kid here who's 30 or 32 having these losses. We're talking of a young man learning his game. So let's have a look at the progression come tomorrow, because I think people will see this young fella's arrived. Because if he can fight on this top level with one hand, let's face it, it's one-handed. Not because he's fighting with one hand because he's had an injury. That's not the case. But that's all he's been doing. He's been fighting with one hand. So if he can do that with one hand, wait until he starts using both, and you're going to see both Saturday night.
As his father, mentor, coach, was it necessary for you to adapt his style?
Well, yeah. When you see what we've done with him and the things we've been working on, it is. He's a very complex character, is Huey, anyway. So we've had to really have a look at it. And he's worked tirelessly on it, and he's perfected it, so he's more than ready. And he's got all the tools to do a very good job.
We're obviously in the first quarter of 2020. Ideally, what would you like to see Fury? How many fights this year? And where do you want him to end up towards the end of the year?
We want to see Huey in 3 fights this year. I'm not really keen on these non-entities, these no-names, because you've still got to train hard for them, because, they can be spoilers and they can give you a bad night if you're not on your game.
But can it be difficult for someone like Huey to get himself up for these kind of fights when he's been with the likes of Parker, Pulevs, etc.?
I think it can, because he's bringing something new to his game. So now he's trying it out, so he's well up for this fight. He wants to show people what he can do, so that's all good. But we'd like, let's get this fight out of the way, all being well, and we'd like probably a known name next time. Not on about for eliminators, nothing like that, but somebody who's known where he can get up for it.
Because I can't let you go without asking you, the heavyweight division is booming right now. Eddie's announced some huge monster events. Joshua Pulev, White, Povetkin, I think Chisora Usyk, potentially rematch Tyson and Wilder in July. Just want to get your thoughts on obviously Tyson's performance, and obviously as his previous coach. He surprised everybody with the tactics and the way he fought. Normally he fights on the back foot, feints a lot, jabs a lot. Did you always know he could do that?
Against Wilder, it was the right thing to do, and he'd done a spot-on, perfect performance. So, it is what it is. Wilder, he was found wanting, very vulnerable. When you couldn't deal with it, there's no plan B there, is there? When he found that it was coming onto him, and he felt the power of him as well, his legs went from round 1. He couldn't get his legs, could he? A little bit like Joshua with similarities with Ruiz. You know, it's a similar kind of scenario. You know, when he had a problem, he couldn't deal with it because he's been so used to knocking people out. You know, he didn't envisage that happening to him, but it did. So when you go back to Wilder's amateur days and have a look at him, when people bulled into him, he put him over. You know, so like I said, it was the right tactics and the right thing to do because Wilder, as soon as he got stunned, let's not forget the right hands to the body. You know, softened him right up. They ate them shots. Of course he can punch. So what I'm saying to you, it was the right thing to do, and he done absolutely the right way. But Wilder, you're seeing there, you know, he was stood like I'm stood with my feet square. You know, what do you think you're going to do there? So he was very, very vulnerable. He's going nowhere. So he done well to last the 7.
What did you make of his reasons for defeat?
Well, how long did he have to prepare for it? 3 months.
Yeah, he fought last in November, I believe. So.
Well, he said in the previous, he's always ready, and he's this and he's that, and all the build up to it. There was no complaints then, was there? So, you know, Wilder can come back, but like I said, there's no excuses there. He got beat by the better man. That's it.
Pete, you're a boxing man. Normally, sometimes in generations, you have some fighters who always have a bogeyman. Can Tyson beat Wilder's bogeyman? In many's eyes, he won the first fight, convincingly beat him in the second fight, and the third fight. Do you think it's even easier for him?
I just think Wilder's been exposed really, and Wilder's got to, you know, he's gonna have to work on his defence game for a start, and accept that he's going to take punishment. You know, can he deal with it? That's the issue. He might not be able to deal with it at all. The third could go exactly the same as the second, only sooner. You know, because you know, is that his Achilles heel? You know, is that his problem? So, you know, it might not be a training issue. Could be psychological. There's a load of things to think about. Like I said, but let's see what he's about, because in his third fight, it's shit a bus for him, isn't it? So he'll either get it right and show people his true qualities, or he's just got to accept that he's just got beat by the better man, hasn't he? You know.
Dylan White's in the background waiting for his shot. He obviously fights Povetkin. Just want to get your thoughts on that fight. You've obviously been in there with Povetkin. Dylan White's obviously had a tough year last year back end with a couple of issues, but he's back and ready now. Good fight for Dylan?
I think it is. I think Povetkin's dangerous. He's still got that ambition. He wants it. But like I said, you know, let's not forget Povetkin is 40 now, or 41.
40.
So like I said, you know, Dillian's a proper big heavyweight. You know, and he does struggle the second half of his fights. So I think it's a case of Dillian just getting behind his jab, you know, not doing anything silly early on. And, you know, second half of the fight, I think he can take over. So, like I said, if he paces it right, but that's, you know, Povetkin's he's not a mug Povetkin.
We know all the fans want this big undisputed clash right now, but obviously Anthony Joshua has his mandatory in Pulev. You've been to Bulgaria, you fought Pulev. A lot of people say it's a walk in the park for Anthony Joshua, but obviously you've studied Pulev. What can he cause any problems to Anthony?
Styles make fights, and nobody's a walk in the park on a world level. You know, to say people's a walk in the park, it doesn't happen. You can have a problem with anybody, whether he's a world champion or not. This is a very complex game, so I don't see it as a walk in the park. No, I don't think Pulev's going to get done early or quickly or anything. You know, it'll be. You know, he'll be in for a tough night himself. These men can both fight, can't they? So like I said, they should come through. Both of them should come through the fights. But it's not a foregone conclusion. It's not like, you know, it's a whitewash. You know, it's 60% Joshua, maybe 40% Pulev. It's like that. Same with Dillian White with Povetkin. It can easily go the other way. You know, but like I said, the thing is with Pulev though, he's not a big puncher. There is that. So that'll be a downside. He's a very good boxer. He distances well, and it's very awkward to get behind that jab. And he does pace his game very good. He's very calm. You know, he does his boxing very well, Pulev, and he's cagey as well. So, like I said, it won't be a walk in the park.
Peter, wish you nothing but the best tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Go enjoy yourself Friday. Rest, recover. And we'll surely catch up with you after the fight.
Perfect.
Peter Hughes for IFL TV, thank you very much.
You're welcome.